Excited, Chris? Ready to go?
Let's go.
I'd like to welcome everybody today as we have our introductory press conference for our 26th head football coach here at Eastern Illinois University. We've got a lot of former players that are also with us here today. We're streaming it on Facebook Live. I'm going to have a couple people come up here and speak. We'll have Dr. Glassman, the university president, Tom Michael, our athletic director, and then the two of them will introduce our new head football coach, the 26th in EIU football history, the 7th in the Division I era of Eastern Illinois. As you guys will see up here, we hope you don't pay attention to this, but you can watch it afterwards on YouTube. There's a documentary on Coach Spoo. I know Coach Wilkerson and a few of the other players that are here with us today are featured in that. That's a great thing that was put together by WEIU and Ramin Carbacion over there. So a labor of love from that, a really good piece on WEIU. But we're here to celebrate the latest head coach in Eastern Illinois history. To start that off, we'll have the president of Eastern Illinois University, Dr. David Glassman.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks for bringing my image up here that I modeled for. It's a good likeness. First, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. I mean, it's a special day here at EIU. And I want to thank, we have a couple of our trustees here, Chris Hicks, who played football for us at EIU, and Joe Dively, who's come in and been a great promoter of sports at EIU. It's a fantastic day. You know, I've done this several times before of introducing new coaches, and one of the first things that we always say is we want to welcome this person to EIU. Well, that's just not going to be the case today, because what we're going to be doing today is welcome back this new individual, this new coach to us. Because this is an individual who bleeds blue, believes in EIU, and has a great history here already at EIU. And his history that he's made as a student athlete, as an assistant coach, is going to be left as a legacy as a head coach. It's just incredible. When I got to meet Chris just a few days ago, you know, in intercollegiate athletics, these searches aren't like faculty searches or administrative searches. These searches are fast. You go through a lot of materials, looking at a lot of people. Somebody comes in the next day. You're hiring somebody the next day after that. It's just a phenomenally fast job. So for when these coaches, when they come in, I mean, they have to sell themselves, and they have to sell themselves quickly. And they, in a very short period of time, they've got to convince you that they have the experience and the background and the intelligence, intellect, understanding of Z generation, 17 to 22-year-old males. And they're changing all the time, every generation. And they've got to convince you. And they also have to demonstrate that they have a past history of winning. And I have to tell you that sitting down, I think I spent about an hour and a half. It was supposed to be an hour. It was about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes until Tom and Mark came in and said, hey, your meeting's over. You know, it's like, hey, I'm the president. Come on. If I want to talk, I think I get to. But it took so long because it was such a fascinating discussion. Because even before we got into the nature of what can you do for EIU to take our football team and move it forward, start and continue to have and maintaining a winning record, bring in the right candidates, bring in the right student athletes who are going to graduate from this university, know the student athlete experience is both athletic and as a student. We had to spend some time just talking about his history here at EIU and what EIU has meant to Chris. And it was an incredible story. Incredible story of coming here, incredible story of being an outstanding athlete, outstanding academician, meeting a woman of his life, going on to being a graduate student here and working as an assistant coach for our 25-year coach, Coach Spoo, who's loved by many, stayed in touch with the university, stayed in touch with Coach Spoo, and just breathes and thinks and looks at EIU as the pivotal transformational moment or period of time in his life that set him on a pathway of staying in intercollegiate athletics, being a coach, and as we know, an incredibly successful coach at the University of Chicago. It was a meaningful discussion. I mean, I was moved. I was going, here's a person that I can easily believe in, and here's a person who has a passion to making that legacy happen at EIU. He told me during that meeting that his life's goal, starting in 1995, was to be the head coach of EIU. That he's wanted that position since 1995. And that desire, that dream, that vision has never changed since 1995. And now he gets to live it. I also told him, sometimes wonder what you wish for, because now the test comes. Celebration is today, but I know that Chris is going to immediately go into the hard work of making those relationships, and it's all about relationships with recruiting and keeping the team moving together as a team. And that's going to start tomorrow. He's not going to wait. He's going to be here. He's going to be working every day. He's going to be a role model and an ambassador of EIU. He's going to be out in the community. He has friends here, other football players that know him, that have played with him, that support him. And this is just going to be a terrific adventure with Chris and EIU football. So once again, I want to thank everybody for being here today. It is truly a celebration, and it's my honor to bring up next the Athletic Director of EIU, Mr. Tom Michael. Thank you, everyone.
I can see the resemblance now when you say Fichtel.
Thank you. I think it's the Cavs.
It's an imposing figure. Certainly, when it was in the football building, you walk in, and we've had him over here the last couple days, and certainly, I told Mark yesterday when I stood next to him, I think with his helmet on, he's about 6'8". So it's good. But thank you, Dr. Glassman, and certainly thank you all for coming and welcome here for this special day. We certainly appreciate everyone's interest in the program and the support that you all give to us consistently through that. Thank you to the current student athletes that are here, and maybe most importantly to the former student athletes that are here too. This is your program, and we're certainly thrilled to have this special day for EIU athletics. As Dr. Glassman mentioned, it represents the coming back home of one of our own. So as we gather here today to welcome Chris Wilkerson as our 26th head coach and the new leader of our football program. Just a little bit about the process as we went through this, and certainly it's been a rather quick, a little over 2 weeks now, when we entered this search, and certainly had the full support of Dr. Glassman and the Board of Trustees, and he's mentioned Chris Hicks being here, and Joe Dively has been a part of this process as well. But it was also done with a ton of assistance from Mark Bonstetter, who's been just a rock for us getting through this part of it, and Mike Murray and Cindy Allman, as well as Dr. Jim Davis as part of that committee. But as we got into this process, our mission was to really look at a diverse group of candidates with program building success and a strong desire to be here at EIU. The interest in the job, again, was outstanding from the minute it was announced on social media. Before we even officially announced it, it had popped on footballscoop.com or whatever it is now, before we were able to get our official release out that we were looking for a coach. But the reason the interest is there is because of the history and tradition of many that call this program theirs. And that's why there's an incredible amount of passion for this program. We conducted dozens and dozens of pre-screening calls and ended up with having 2 candidates come to campus. And there's obvious that the history and tradition that this program has and the passion for which former players for the program is significant. I do want to thank Tony Romo and Ryan Pace and Roy Whitkey and Brian Callahan specifically, as their connection to EIU is evident, but their desire for what is best for this program was also more important. I can't overstate the importance of their involvement in this process. So our vision for the program was really, what did we need for the EIU football program, and where did this program need to go today? That being said, the core values of what we stand for and what this program is about couldn't change. And as our department knows, I consistently talk about making sure that our student athletes are given back better than we got them. This is a fundamental in what we do in college athletics every day. And clearly that means aligning with the educational mission of the university, providing the best student athlete experience possible, and allow their time at EIU to be transformational, which I'm sure Chris will talk about. We also must make sure that there is passion, belief, and the football acumen to be competitive and successful in our next football coach. And finally, the members of our football program, football team, they must earn their degrees from EIU. And what I'm super excited to say is we found that person. Chris came to EIU from Indianapolis in 1991 to play football for Coach Spoo. In 1995, he joined the football staff and stayed until 2001. He's been a football coach for 27 years. He spent the last 9 years at the University of Chicago as their head coach, and used his experiences in all three phases as defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator to have the success there. I've referred to this as a coming home, and make no mistake, this is far more important than just a former player coming back home to coach this football team. I had one former player that called and asked, is being a former player an advantage or a disadvantage in the process? I'd be hypocritical to say if that wasn't going to be an advantage of being a part of this program. I speak passionately about what it means to be a student athlete in your program and the incredible benefits there are by experiencing intercollegiate athletics. However, it wasn't only about Chris being a former player. Chris Wilkerson is our 26th head football coach because he's a great football coach. The coming home happens to be part of the incredible story. I mentioned Tony earlier. I had an opportunity to talk, and I don't want this to be about name dropping, and last night when he called, he said, Tom, use our conversation how you need to use it. But when we spoke last night, the word he kept saying was he's ecstatic. He's ecstatic to have Chris leading his program, your program. He remembered the linebacker coach when he played here. He remembered some of the phrases that Chris said as an assistant coach. They've had this conversation. But what he was ecstatic about, that Chris has a personality that engaged with a quarterback some 20 years ago, magnetic in that the current team and recruits will be attracted to him. He was ecstatic about his football knowledge on both sides of the ball that will allow this program, your program, to have success. That in turn makes it very easy for me to say that I'm ecstatic about Chris leading this program. When I really got to know Chris, and this has been, we talked to Chris very early in the process. And as we had conversations and got to learn more about his personal traits, you're going to hear it in just a second, how passionate the man is. He's passionate about teaching and coaching. He's got unbelievable positive energy, an engaging personality that is magnetic and infectious. He's disciplined, got hard work ethic, accountability, ability to inspire and motivate, an unbelievable sense of professionalism. He's family-oriented, dedicated professional, and he's selfless. I didn't get a chance to know Coach Spoo like so many of you here today did. But what I do know is talking to so many of his former players and coaches, this is something that was at the core value for him, and Chris exemplifies this to its core. He's a leader, and most importantly, he bleeds blue. I'm thrilled and excited to officially welcome back home to the Panther family, Chris, Sharna, Bella, Peyton, and Charlotte. Welcome to EIU.
Yeah, it probably would be a bit snug right now. The pandemic hasn't been too kind to my body weight. Oh, gosh. Thanks, Tom, Dr. Glassman, certainly my family, all the friends, former teammates, colleagues. Guys, I can just tell you this. 32 years ago this Wednesday, I made a decision that changed my life forever. I signed my national letter of intent to attend Eastern Illinois University. And man, did that change the trajectory of my life. I will forever be grateful for Eastern Illinois University, people of Charleston, and Coles County for what you've done for my family and myself. This is an amazing place with amazing people, and boy, does it feel good to be home. This is, as Tom said, something that I've dreamed about, and Dr. Glassman said, every single day of my professional career since 1995. My first year on the sidelines out at O'Brien Stadium. I personally want to thank Tom for putting his faith in me and giving me this incredible opportunity. There's been a shared vision throughout this process, and for us to be successful, Tom and my visions needed to be aligned, and believe me, they are. I wouldn't be here today without your commitment and vision about the resurrection of our proud football program and our entire athletic department. I know how determined you are about leading our program back to national prominence. To President Glassman, the Board of Trustees, Joe, Chris specifically, the entire community of Charleston, Coles County, and Eastern Illinois University, I thank you. I thank you for putting your trust in me. This is a special place, and the difference here has and always will be the people. We are super excited to return. To the guys, former players, I need you to understand I'm a servant to you now. We all need you, and we want you to reconnect with the Panther football family. Whether you played for Moodra, Moldy, Spoo, Babers, Dameron, or Cushing, I need you to understand I am here for you. And we need your support to resurrect our proud football program. Not just guys like Tom mentioned, Tony Romo, Sean Payton, Ryan Pace, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tim Carver, Chris Hicks, Pete Mock, Jamie Pilson, but other guys like Brent Fisher, George Boykin, Joe Remke, Rod Hurd, Brad Fichtel, Leo Emhoff, James Dorsey, Rick Mullen, Chavez Hawkins, Vincent Webb, Andy Vincent, Billy Bessenhofer. The list goes on and on and on. We want your help. We need your help in restoring our proud program. But I want it to be a place that you're proud of. And your involvement is super important to us, and I want it to be a place that you know you are always welcome to come back home. I want the entire Panther Football Nation to be able to reconnect with so many people during this process. It's been amazing. I appreciate your faith in me, and I promise, again, our staff's not going to be outworked. Our players are not going to be outworked. We'll pour every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears into this program. Our staff is going to operate with hard hats and lunch pail mentality. We're going to be relentless in our pursuit of excellence. They're going to be great teachers, educators, recruiters, communicators, and mentors. And believe me, we know we'll all be judged by our actions, not what we say. I've been really blessed in my career to have some tremendous experiences in coaching. 27 years, 18 in Division I and 9 as a head coach. I've had many role models along the way, learning from head coaches like Fichtel and Buddy Tevens, assistant coaches that were huge impact in my life, Roy Whitkey, John Smith, Randy Melvin, Keith Clark, Donnie Dobes, the list goes on and on. But most importantly, I want to make a special thanks to a man that changed my life forever, Bob Spoo. I will never, ever be able to thank Coach Spoo and his wife, Susie, and his daughter, Katie, enough for taking a chance on a young man from Indianapolis, for being such an amazing coach, father, husband, and mentor. He completely transformed my life as well as many others. Coach was like a father to me, and I know he's going to be watching every single day, and my goal is that we make him proud. Sorry about that. Anyway, again, I want to thank the former players, certainly that I've had the opportunity to coach. I wouldn't be here without your commitment to football. It's always been about the players and their development and impacting and transforming lives like others did for me. The players are what this is all about. I love each and every one of the guys that I've been fortunate enough to coach, and the guys that I'll have an opportunity to coach here will know that I love them very soon. Lastly, I want to thank my family. My wife, Sharna, my daughter, Bella, and Charlotte, my son, Peyton. Thank you for the sacrifices that you've made to allow me to do this. It's hard to explain the sacrifices that a family of a coach makes along the way. But they've been amazing and supportive and loving throughout the years, through all the ups and all the downs, through all the bumps in the road. But thank you guys for being there for me and for your love and support. For coaching, for me, it's a calling. Again, the men that were around me were a huge influence on my development just as a person. It's about developing the whole person. I want our players to not just be successful here at Eastern in the classroom, but years from now, to be great husbands, fathers, leaders in their chosen profession. And that's what this is about. That's what truly defines being successful. Championship experiences in everything that they do, including on the field. Over time, we will build this program with a solid foundation to maintain sustained success. The foundation is going to be built on relationships and trust through connection with our players. Recruiting, player support, and player development are all going to be critical in this process. They seem simple to most, but it'll take everybody who touches our players on a daily basis to be all in. Our staff, again, is going to take a hungry and humble approach to do whatever we can to allow our players to be successful. Our priority is going to be to adjust our schemes, offensively, defensively, and special teams, to play to the strengths of our players and give them a chance to be successful. Our mission is to help each one of them reach their fullest potential and be their best versions of themselves. We are so excited to get started and start this next chapter in Panther football history. It has and always will be about the program here. Program above self. Again, thank you all for this amazing opportunity. Go Blue.
Do appreciate you guys all coming out today, and great day to be a Panther.
Any questions about any of the So my wife's name is Shannon. S-H-A-N. Yes. So
Jim,
How the heck are you doing? Good to see you. How you doing? You doing all right?
Oh, yeah. That'll be all right.
All right, good. Good to see you.
I'm not on the clock.
Hey, I still appreciate your work. I know you work your tail off.
For 18 years, wasn't that? So,
Unbelievable.
you're playing softball, you're playing volleyball, and you're playing football.
I'm on it. I'm going to tell him, hey,
You know me,
I know you will. I know you will. We'll be on it. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Jim. All right, where's Bells? Where do you want me? How do you want this? Us in the middle?
Ask your wife or ask you got two photo people.
Gather in close, like you love each other.
Popping. Is that all right?
Is Tom around?
Short, I know. It's quad. I'm trying to. It's the suit. Quad?
It's the Navy.
How was it?
I mean,
It's bleed blue, but I need these, I need a drink, I'm so dry. What?
Oh, 2 for $5. We need whatever the checks have for months. Oh,
oh.
We still need a good pitcher. Welcome home. We still need a good pitcher.
oh.
I mean, I think if you kids.
No, you know these. Can you believe these guys?
Oh, no, because your parents.
This is Sandy Baker. So you remember when you saw our wedding video, like the VHS? They did all that. They were like our surrogate parents when we were here.
They were good kids. Yeah.
Kids. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Thank you so much. Oh, it's been a journey.
And we were wonderful.
We've had a lot of support along the way.
Well, your family.
Anyway, welcome back.
You guys got me all choked up around here. Fiddle's probably had a
Coach, let's go right here in the center.
droopy.
I
was with
I'm in the rear. Yep.
Junior.
Tall guys in the back.
That's my
skilled,
son. That's my
skilled players in the front, the smaller
I
guys.
love the Blazers.
You guys are right.
Oh, let's go!
Look at, yeah.
How did you guys have those? See, I gotta get one of these now. I gotta get one of these. You gotta tell me who the tailor is.
It's a guy down. It's a guy down.
I'm serious. Send me the contact.
And he fitted Leo just the other phone.
Oh.
You just get all your better. That's what we got. We got 36 extra.
That's awesome. Where's Pete? I can text this guy. They sneak out of here. Where's Mullen?
The last thing I need.
Everybody will turn the other way.
You want to be the one in the bottom?
Should I get my piece of permission?
Take this out.
Now, can we all get together? You guys remember the fight song? Fight song?
We're loyal.
We are loyal, guys.
You don't want to hear it though.
I don't expect to hear
It's almost like, and I got 2 of them there. You guys don't know. Crazy.
Whatever you guys do, we're good.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was talking about like.
Oh, Hicks.
Yeah, Brad Fichtel, Fichtel.
And Brad, when did you play for the Panthers?
I was here in 88 to 92.
All right, tell me about this day and tell me how you know Chris Wilkerson.
Well, Chris came in my second year here, so we played with each other for 3 years. He was a defensive lineman, I was an offensive lineman, so we butted heads every day at practice for 3 years, and I followed his career after. Of course, he was coaching here, and I've always followed Eastern Illinois football, and I followed his career, up until this point, and there was no way I was going to miss this. This was exciting, just having a former player back here, and the energy, the excitement that it's generating. So I came up from Texas yesterday. Couldn't wait.
As guys that played against each other, you said in practice and on the team 30 years ago, you
Yeah.
probably weren't thinking about, is he head coaching material? Now that maybe I'm asking you on the spot, when you look back at it, I mean, do you see that the traits maybe were there?
Exactly. No. I said this the other day. You could tell, as this young Chris Wilkerson coming in here, you could tell he was different. He was smart. He was intense. He was just a good football player. But you could see it. You really could. He's always had those qualities, and we're just glad he's here.
And and I don't know if he's the first former EIU football player to become an EIU head coach. He might be, but to have one of the family, as it was talked about in the introductory press conference, to have one of you guys be the new head coach, what does that mean from another former player?
Yeah, well, it's special. Like I said, just the energy. I mean, you see all the former players that came in today, and I loved his introductory speech there. How he's welcoming back all the former players. So I think it's neat in that aspect because he knows what it's like to be a student athlete here, and for him to reach out to former players from all the generations, all the different head coaches that have been through here, not just guys that he played with, but everybody. I think that's great. And we need it. We need everybody back in this program and get this thing where it needs to be. And he's the guy to do it.
I have two more questions for you.
Yep.
Thank you for your time. I probably should have interviewed you for the Bob Spoo program. I apologize in advance. But being that you guys are from that era of Panther football, what do you think Coach Spoo would say to him now? I mean, as Chris got his coaching start here.
Yeah, it's a pretty special thing. And I know him and Coach Spoo had a great relationship. And as did Coach Spoo, had a great relationship with all his players. I'm sure he's proud as heck. And it's just, Coach Spoo is just, first class. And I'm sure just proud is what he is.
And I understand, if I recall correctly, you have a son that's going to come play football here.
I do. I got to say, my son, offensive lineman, he's coming here. And of course, I couldn't be happier, I have no problem, no worries sending my kid to play with Coach Wilkerson. I know what kind of guy he is, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great to be able to come back more often than I do to see him grow. And like I told my son and Chris, I said it's going to be something special to be part of this rebuild because we're coming back, and it's going to be something special.
I want to ask you a bonus question.
Yeah.
I know this place is special to a lot of people, whether they went there as a student, as a player, administrator, they met their wives or husbands here.
Yeah.
Tell me why this place is special to you.
You know what? I was talking to Carson, my son, about it. It's Eastern Illinois. It's a place where you go and you go to college. There's so many colleges, or commuter colleges, or this and that. But when you come here, you go to college, and it's such a special experience, a special place. Central Illinois. It's a great town, but it's college, in every word, and it's. I think that's what makes it special, and the people here are just incredible as well.
And then overall, do you have any goals when it comes to recruiting?
Oh, it's always going to be about talent acquisition. So recruiting has really evolved a lot in the last couple years with the transfer portal stuff. We still believe that your nucleus, our core, is going to be 4- and 5-year high school student athletes here at Eastern. We will accent our program with 2-year college transfers or junior college transfers. And then if there is a player, collegiate athlete that is in the portal that happens to be a good fit for us and address an immediate need, we will certainly be open-minded to bringing them here as well. But we want to acquire as much talent as possible, and then we want to make sure that we develop that talent as well.
Overall, the OVC as a whole has been shrinking lately. Did that make you hesitant about taking this job at all?
No, and I was very aware of the recent history with the Ohio Valley Conference. Certainly, as I talked to Tom and Dr. Glassman, it's something that they are discussing at the presidential level, the athletic director level, and the conference commissioner level. There's an ongoing discussion, but I feel very, very good about the future and the sustained viability of a football conference. What that looks like in the end is still a little bit TBA, but there's an ongoing investigation as we speak.
And then finally for me, what did you say to the team for the first, when you met them for the first time?
The biggest thing I just tried to, this has all happened fast, and I feel like I'm drinking through a fire hose right now, but it was an opportunity just to make sure that I want them to understand that I care about them as people, not just as football players. I want to help them be the best they can be, because this place helped me do that. I want them to understand how passionate I am about Eastern and helping them develop. That was the two biggest things I wanted to try to accomplish, but I've only had a chance to spend 10 minutes with them as a group. They are training right now in the winter program. lifting weights 4 days a week, and they're in smaller groups because of our pandemic protocols. But I'm very excited as we hopefully come out of this to start getting them together in bigger groups and progress to winter conditioning and then our spring practices.
Bob Spoo's legacy was a big part of it today, a lot of his former players and coaches here. Can you speak more about your relationship with him and any stories from your time with him you'd like to share?
So Coach was absolutely unequivocally like a father to me. And I got to see him from every side, as a recruit, certainly as a member of our football family, as a player for 5 years, and then having the chance to transition to a side-by-side role as a coach. How I even got into coaching. I came to Eastern because I wanted to teach and I wanted to coach, but I thought it would be at the high school level. And when I got done with my senior year, Coach approached me about the possibility of helping with the staff in the spring. I said, well, Coach, I haven't really thought about coaching college ball. I'm finishing my student teaching over at Mattoon Junior High School, and Sharon and I are getting married in May. I've already passed the Illinois state examination. I've got reciprocity in Indiana. I thought I'd get a job teaching a coach at the high school. He said, why don't you come and work with us this spring? I think you'd have a bright future as a college football coach. Well, 27 years later, and I haven't done anything other than coach college football. So I worked as the restricted earnings coach those first 2 seasons, and then the next thing you know, I was full-time, and I worked my way up as a defensive coordinator. I have just growing and growing and growing with Coach. He was such an influence on my development just as a person. I owe everything that I have to this day to Bob. So he's just a huge influence in my life.
That's all I have for you then.
All right.
I just got one question for you, Chris. I figured I'd get a follow-up from you. What does it mean for you to come back here and follow the coaches that have come before you?
Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor. It's a privilege. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's a big responsibility. And my goal is that our players, past, present, future, are going to be proud about what we're going to put out there on the football field, and proud about what we're going to put out there in the classroom, and proud about what we're going to put out there in the community, and proud about what our guys are going to do after graduation. So I am thrilled, and I understand this is a heavy, heavy, heavy burden, but I'm ready to shoulder that burden, and I know I want to move the program forward so that everybody can be associated with this place, can be proud to be a Panther, and move our program back to national prominence.
What does it mean to see your former teammates here?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, to see guys that you see from time to time, but see them just so excited and you engage with them during this process. Again, it's humbling, to be honest with you, to see them like that. And that's probably part of the reason that I brought myself to tears, in addition to the connection to this place, but the connection to so many other people. Those guys have all had influences on my life as well along the way, whether it was coaching them or whether it was playing with them or whether it was being in the locker room with them or whether it was being in the community with them. Just amazing relationships and memories every day here.